this is Craig with Diggs Rod Shop, and we're back here in the shop, and we're going to go over something today that we think you're going to like. We definitely like it. It's one of the difficulties we've had in the past, again, when it comes to buying outside product or imported product. The fact that we have to do so much modification to kind of get it right. Fit and finish, again, you guys know as well as I do, if you're looking for show vehicles, fit and finish is critical. Even on your daily driver, you want it looking the best you possibly can. And the fact that when it comes right out of the box, you want to do the least amount of work to it that you have to. Now, I would say in the defense of everybody out there, there isn't a part made out there that I would say when it comes to sheet metal parts on whatever the truck is. I don't care whether it's Ford, Chevy, Dodge, doesn't matter. That even the cars, you know, you guys have seen it when you buy a door skin or you buy a fender, you know, the gaps are maybe too much or too little, and you've got to either add to or take away. So with that said, here at Diggs Rod Shop, we strive to be the best we possibly can. I've talked about working efficient, and when it comes to labor, you want the least amount of labor in fabrication that you can possibly get, because that's where a lot of the time is in a shop like this. So I'm going to show you something that we've produced, which is this box side for the 47 to 54 Chevrolet pickups. That's that AD. And right now we do the short box. We're going to do a long box also. And that's why we have that plain stake pocket, because it's literally going to go about right here when we do the long box, but we've got to add to it. So we're working on the die for that too, and then the fab work on that. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to elaborate just a little bit on the last video. And it's the stake pocket. And you can bring that camera in here just a little bit. I'm going to pull this stake pocket out. This is the one that's that imported one. And again, I'm not picking on them so much as I'm, you know, all the inconsistencies in here. But one of the big problems that I found was when you bring this thing up, and ours is, you know, the angle on this is pretty decent. But you can see right here when I lift this up and just try to get this part flat right there, you can see the problem with that. That was one of those issues that we had. And if you look at ours right here, you can see just how true it is. And it literally, if I went and got the prototype, it just sits perfectly flush right down on this, this bedside. So that was one of the major concerns on that. And then inconsistency in that profile too. So I'm gonna put this off to the side here. Today I wanna focus on what we've done on the box side. So one of the things that I would tell you, and I'll stand it up here, and I kind of want to have you bring that camera around to the back side real quick here and just kind of keep it low. And I'll show you what we've done on this particular one right here. On the original, it has this bend mark right here. It's about 3/4 of an inch. And then it goes all the way up and it follows through on the inner fender well there. Well, we have found in the past that we have to take that out. When it comes to wheel size that you're putting underneath of most of these trucks, you want to gain all the room you possibly can. So literally, we didn't even add that back in. We just found that we're always cutting it out anyway. So we didn't even add that back into ours. It's cold roll steel. It's 16 gauge. It's heavy duty. Again, a lot of those that I see out there are like 19 gauge are pretty flimsy. The other thing I would tell you as I lay this down, you'll notice one particular thing about this one right here. The angle bed strip is not on here. And I will go get the angle bed strip, and I'll show you why we don't put it on there. Okay, so I've went and got the bed angle, and what I want to talk to you about the bed angle is we do not install this on our bedside. And the biggest reason that we don't do that is because most of the time we're raising our bed floor. And I know there's a lot of builders out there that with a box side that you get, let's say one of the imported ones, when you get that in, you have to cut that off anyway. And so, and every one that we've ever done, we've had to cut it off because we're going to raise the bed floor. We even have a custom rear sill that actually is a 2-inch raised rear sill so that you can raise the bed floor also. This particular box side is going to go on our Art Morrison chassis that we have on that 48 that you guys have seen in those other videos. And so we have to remove this if we was using someone else's product anyway. So what we've decided is most of the time, and that's why we're doing it this way, most of the time, the guys are going to remove this no matter what because they're changing things. And so with that said, we send it with it, you have it, and because you're going to need it depending on what kind of a floor you're going to put in your truck. This is a stock angle support right here. So that's for the bed. With that said, I also wanted to make a note too. I'm going to flip this back up here. I have sold a couple of these to guys that don't want this stake pocket on here. This is the 47 to 53, early 54 stake pocket, and then in 55 they changed the design on it. Some guys want to run the 55 design, but they want this angle right up here. I think it's 58 degrees, right in that area, and they want to run a different stake pocket. And I've even seen some guys run, you know, what I would consider not a custom pocket, but let's say 44. I've seen 44s on them before too, and they look really nice in there. And so we make a bedside that doesn't have this stake pocket on it too. So you can get it plain. You can just get the bend with the roll in it, without a stake pocket, without the angle on it, and it's just basically comes to you primer. You can put the stake pocket on it that you want on it, and you can place that bed strip angle where you want. I'll show you something that we took away from our box side. Some of the companies out there that I noticed, and they actually provide this with the stake pocket and even the box side. That's this piece right here. That can go on right there, and that's one of the original pieces to the truck. We don't even offer that anymore. You can put it on if you want to. I think it just continues to add to the thickness back here and the finish. You know, what do you do with that when it's all said and done? You can weld it on the top and weld it on the bottom. Definitely don't want to put filler all the way down the stake pocket, so we just eliminated it. One of the reasons why we did is you can see right here, and I've lifted that up just a little bit. You can see the thickness right here in the stake pocket, which is 16 gauge. The box side 16 gauge, so that's thick enough. If you want to go back with the chain, if you don't want to go back with the chain, most guys are going to weld this shut anyway, so we don't even put that back in there. One of the other features that we have in our box kits, so if you order a left and a right and a header panel from us, rear seal, the whole deal, we offer a bolt kit. This is the bolt kit that we're going to use on our custom trucks here. Let me show you what's in it. You can bring that camera in here. I'll just kind of show you, and then I'll open it up and lay it out here for you. So there's our hardware kit. That's basically what it's called. You get that with every box kit. You can order it separate too, because it'll work for almost anything. Here's part of this kit right here. So you can see that is that there's 12 button heads in there, and that it tells you exactly what it goes to the rear sill. That's what that goes on. These are the ones that go to the header panel right here, and those are 1/4-inch button heads. These actually show, and let me just walk you over to the front side over here. So, you know, I know this is the inside, but what I would tell you is that's what it's going to look like on the outside of the truck right there. So it's nice and smooth. Gives you a little bit of room that you can actually move the header around and get it in there. But these are paintable, so these are just, you know, just black steel. You can clean those up and they'll take paint real nice, and you don't have to worry about being galvanized at that point. So let's move back over to the other side. For the front header, we went ahead and used zinc. And these are all Lawson bolts, I will tell you too, USA made. Everything that we use here in Diggs Rod Shop is going to be a USA made bolt. So with that said, that's what comes with our bolt kit, and it's all the hardware kit to put this box together. We don't have the fender bolts because it's not part of the kit, but we have fenders also we can sell you in the kit. And with that said, go to DiggsRodShop.com and check our e-commerce site out. And not only do we have the stake pocket, but we have the bed sides on there. You can buy all the components for the box kit. And with that said, this is Trey, Diggs Rod Shop.